right, everybody, welcome to the next game in the Colorado Rockies replay. We are at game number 30, final game of the homestand, and final game, obviously, against the Atlanta Braves. They split the first two games. This is the rubber game of the three-game set. Left-hander Chris Sale on the mound for Atlanta. Right-hander Chase Dollander on the mound for the Rockies. Rockies are now 11-18 in the replay. Atlanta is 14-15. And neither pitcher is any good at holding runners on. Both base running steal people will have a +5 head start, as neither are good at holding runners. Colorado actually won this game real world 2-1. So we'll see what happens here. There will be a nameless player used for Atlanta, as Rosario had, I believe, 4 at-bats all year. And the only start he had 3 at-bats within this one game. He played one game in right field, didn't make any errors, so I gave him a 3.0, and he running as a 10, but he had a 0 batting average. So I was almost tempted just to make him an automatic out, but I will go ahead and use the nameless player with the worst average, which is this 210. So I'm going to use that for him. It may produce a hit. Who knows? I really don't know. Depends on how it works out, but he is the nameless player. So I'm going to be swapping this card out between him and Alan Trejo for the Rockies, because he will also be using this 210 card. So I'm going to keep this out separate and bring it in where it's necessary, depending on who comes to bat first. Does Rosario bat first, or does Trejo bat first? That we shall see. Chase Dollander on the regular season was 2-12 with a 6.52 ERA and 21 starts for the Rockies. And due up for the Braves, they are using their backup catcher Baldwin today. So no, they don't have Murphy. They've got Baldwin, and they don't have Eli White. They're using Rosario. Everybody else is pretty much the same. They're not using Verdugo either. So White moves from right field to left field to take Verdugo's place, and Harris hits leadoff. So that's how they're working their lineup today. Hello, Ben, and hello, Paul. Good to see both of you. Game number 30 out of the 59. So we're obviously past halfway. See how they do. I'm still trying to get 20 wins for the Rockies. I need 9 wins in the next 29 games. We can go 9-20. I'll hit my goal. We have to go 9-20. Here is Chase Dollander to Michael Harris. Whoop, that got hung up right off the bat. And as soon as this game is over, the Rockies will hit a charter out to San Francisco for a 4-game series out at Oracle Park. Whoops, that didn't go through. That went on the outside there. Having a tough time with this first roll for some reason. There we go. All right, 2-7 for Michael Harris, and that's a fly to center on the way. And I looked at the pitching rotation, and Justin Verlander will get the start for the Giants tomorrow night against the Rockies and German Marquez. That'll be the matchup. And for those that tuned this morning and had to go sit through a 16-minute and 30-second delay while I was setting up my score sheet and everything like that, never fear. Tomorrow's game is already ready to go. Chicago and Cleveland, the score sheet's already filled out, so there will be no 16-minute delay tomorrow morning. All right, here's Austin Riley, third baseman. Oh, the name, because Strat doesn't card everybody, and I don't blame Strat for not carding him. He only had 4 at-bats. I mean, nobody's going to card him. So when you get these guys that only play once or twice a year, but they happen to be in the starting lineup, there you go. So that's why we use nameless players. 3-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. 2 down. I mean, I could say when he comes to bat, we're just going to read off Dollander's card, but Dollander's pretty bad, so he could get a hit off Dollander's card more than he could his own, probably. So here is Marcell Ozuna. And I just made up 3-0 because I think he had like 2 putouts in that one game or something. So his range seemed about normal, and he didn't make any errors. So if he had no errors, I have to give him a 0. So here's Ozuna. That is a 4-7, and that's a walk for Dollander. First walk for him. Ozuna not going to go anywhere. And here's Matt Olson, first baseman. First First, yeah, they do acquire a whole lot of players for these teams, but these teams have about 60 or 70 players that at least get a few at bats throughout the season. So that's modern baseball for you. So first havoc roll, nothing happened. Here comes Olson. It's a 5-9, and that's going to be an in-home run chance, and that's gone right off the bat. Didn't take Matt Olson long to go deep. You look at the 5-9 against the lefty for Dollander, it's a straight in-home run. And Matt Olson, a 2-run home run. So after getting the first 2 outs, that seemingly innocent 2-out walk turns into 2 runs for the Braves. And they've already exceeded their total in the real game already here in the top of the first. Here is Albies. 4-9 for Albies. And that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-9 for Albies. It could be back-to-back. And it is back-to-back home runs off of Dollander. It is 3-0. And that'll bring up Eli White. 6-9, and that is a double 1-11, single 12-20. And that's a double for Eli White. And that'll bring up Drake Baldwin. This is his first appearance of the series. Clutch situation as well, and he's in the clutch. He gains a hit 1-7. That's a 5-9 lefty, and that's the same thing, the in-home run, and that is gone. 2-run home run for Drake Baldwin, and Atlanta is not messing around. They're up 5-0 here in the top of the first. So obviously Rosario will come to bat before Trejo does, so we move the nameless player there. Nick Allen, number 8 hitter. That is a 1-7, and he's going to strike out to end the inning, but a 5-run first inning for the Atlanta Braves. And Chase Dollander may not be around much longer in this game. So Chris Sale, the veteran Chris Sale, is given a 5-0 lead to work with. He was 7-5 with a 2.58 ERA and 20 starts. And how Atlanta only got 1 run against this guy with a 6.52 ERA in the real game is beyond me. They must have been sleepwalking or something. All right, so the Rockies have a long uphill climb. And here is, you can say the Rockies have a mountain to climb here. Here's Brenton Doyle. It's a 4-5 against the Sale against the right-hander. That's a 1-4 home run for Doyle. But that's going to instead be a fly to left, and that's 1 away. For Jordan Beck. And that is a 1-4, and that is a strikeout. It's a little stuff in here. I've got to turn. I know it's a little bit, it might be distracting with the noise in the background, but I have to have that. I have to have this AC on because it's just, I tried it without it, and it's just suffocating up here. So here's Ryan McMahon. And that is a 6-8, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the top of the second, and we go to Rosario. He is a left-handed hitter. So if we get off the pitcher card, we'll be in the blue area. 2-8, and that's a single 1-14. 15-20 is a line out. And that's a line out. So poetic justice done there. Line out to second. 1 away, and now we'll move this card to be used for Trejo coming up shortly. So Michael Harris, 3-7 for Harris. He grounds it to second. That's 2 away. For Austin Riley. Riley, a 4-6, and that's a walk. That's the second walk issued by Dollander. And here's Marcel Ozuna. He was a recipient of the other walk. Hello, Dr. D. 6-9, and that's a double 1-11. 12-20 is a single. Whoops. And we get a double, 2 stars. So that'll put runners at second and third with 2 outs. And Matt Olson, the batter. You could walk Olson intentionally if you like, but you got Albies right behind him. But I think they don't want Matt Olson hitting a 3-run homer against them, so they're going to intentionally walk Olson with first base open and take their chances with Albies. 3-5, and that's a ground ball back to Dollander to end the inning. So Dollander pitches around all the mess. And that will end the inning. Bottom of the second, still 5-0 Atlanta. And here's Hunter Goodman. And I thought I saw somewhere, Google or somewhere, where Goodman is on the trading block, perhaps to Boston or somewhere. I don't know if that's true or not. A 3-5 on Olsen. A 1-2 home run, a 3-20 double. So I'm not going to state the obvious that the managing in that situation was brilliant. We'll just leave it at that. All right, here's Hunter Goodman. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. Here's Michael Toglia. Oh, the Yankees won him. Okay, I knew somebody wanted him. I wasn't sure if it was Boston or who it was, but I figured somebody would have won him because he's such a good hitter. 2-3 for Toglia against the lefty, and that's a ballpark blast. So it is a 1-9. And, of course, the D20 doesn't come their way. So it is a fly to left, 2 down. 2 away for Sean Bouchard. 3-5, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Sale. And he sailed right through that second inning, no problem. Eli White, the batter. 5-3, and that is a fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Beck. He's a 3. 3-5, that's iffy. 3-5 is up for grabs. I think it might be a hit, and it is. 3-5 is a single. E4 and a 10 is no error there, but it will be a single for Eli White. And actually, Rosario may need to bat again before Trejo gets his first at bat. That's how bad it is. But it looks like that's where we're heading, barring a double play. Where is Giovanni's tailor shop when you need them? Here's Baldwin. He homered his first time up. 6-8, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2. 1 away for Nick Allen. 3-2 for Allen, and that's a low max to third base, so they get out of it with a double play. Not a Giovanni's Tailor Shop double play, but a low max double play on the 3-2. Low max to third base. McMahon gets it, throws it to first, and that is going to end the inning. So Trejo will get to bat before Rosario gets his second at bat, as it turns out. To the bottom of the third. It'll be Stallings, Trejo, and Amador for the Rockies. That's a 5-9, and that's another strikeout for Sale, his 5th. And now here is Trejo, a right-hander, right-handed hitting shortstop. And he is, of course, a nameless player. They're going to finally get their, in a couple, I think in about 10 days, they get their regular shortstop off the injured list, but we'll see. Don't remember the exact date. Let's see here, 3-4. 3-4 is a pop out to short. 2 down, and now we can give this back to Rosario to start the 4th. Here's Amador. 5-6, switch hitter batting right, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout's number 6. So how about that? 6 out of the 9 he's faced have struck out. Sale, like you say, is sailing along. Dolander back out to face Rosario. That's a 2-3. Fly to center, 2 down. So fortunately, Rosario has not gotten a hit. Since he didn't get a hit in Ford Bats Real World, I don't want him to get a hit. Maybe 1. I certainly don't want him to go 2 for 4 and bat 500. That would be ridiculous. Here's Michael Harris. 4-4. Ground ball third base X. McMahon's a 1. So we know he's going to get to it. Third base, he is an E10. So the only errors are 13, 3, 17, and 18. The 13 has got him a couple times. He's got to avoid the 13. And he does with the 16, and that's, I think, is going to be okay. E10, 17 and 18 errors, but not 16. So McMahon, a little bit of trouble with it, but does get it over to first in time for out number 2. And here is Austin Riley. And that's a 2-6 for Riley, and he strikes out. So Dolander, a miraculous recovery from the first inning. Seems to get his footing back. His fatigue inning, though, will be next inning, so might only go the 5 innings. Here's Chris Sale facing the top of the order, Brenton Doyle. That's a 2-4 for Doyle. That's a ballpark single check, and there goes the no-hitter on a 1-19. And that's the first hit of the game for the Rockies. And Doyle's going to be running. I don't care if it's 5-0. You're taking candy from a baby by stealing here. If you get that 4 or 6, you got to get the 4 or 6. And you get the 6. So let's go 19. He's going to steal without a throw. They're not even going to bother throwing. He gets the steal. It'd be a 1-22, but 19 is as high as it can go. Baldwin, his throwing error is a 1-4. But why take the chance? You're up 5-0. Why throw the ball away? So here's Jordan Beck. And that's a 6-6, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 7. Chris Sale brings up McMahon. 3-10, lefty, and that's a ballpark single. That'll be another hit for the Rockies. Base hits, 1 star, though, so it's first and third with 1 out, and Hunter Goodman, the batter. Long ball here, and all of a sudden the Rockies are back in the game. We get a 4-4, and that, he just missed a chance at a home run, but a 4-4 is a catcher X, and Baldwin's a 3-2. 3-3, that's going to probably be trouble. It's probably going to be a wild pitch. 3-3 is a wild pitch. We'll make sure there's no error involved before that. E2 is 3-17 or 18. Nope, no errors there, but it is going to be a wild pitch, and that will score the run. First run of the game comes in on a wild pitch by Chris Sale. And it moves McMahon to second base, so there's no double play ground out opportunity now. 5-1, Rockies finally on the board. That's a 5-8. I'm sorry, a 5-5 rather. 5-5 is another strikeout for Sale. That's his 8th. 2 down for Tolia. Michael Tolia. 4-8. Switcher batting right, and that's a 1-9 single. It would only be 1 star, so the run would not score. 10-20, he lines out to Riley. And it's a base hit, so it keeps the inning going, puts runners on first and third for Bouchard in a collect situation. Against a left-hander, Bouchard will gain a hit on 1-9. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. That is a 2-10, and that's going to be a home run chance. 1-6 would be a 3-run homer for Bouchard. 7-20 will still be a 2-run triple. And that's a 2-run triple for Bouchard. And the Rockies put 2 more on the board to cut the lead to 5-3, and we almost have a brand new ball game. At least they're in the ball game again. 5-3 looks doable. Here's Stallings. 5-12. Ground ball first base X. That is Olsen. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. Just checking the E5, and the only errors on E5, 14, 17, and 18. And he avoids those, so he will get it and flip the Sale covering. But 3 runs for the Rockies, and they cut the lead to 5-3. And this will be the final inning for Dolander. We will cap him at 5 innings. Ozuna walked and doubled. We get a 2-10 for Ozuna, and that's a ballpark blast on a 1-9. But a 14 is a deep fly to left. 1 away for Matt Olson. He's homered and been intentionally walked. 1-7. This time he flies to center. 2 down. That is 8 in a row retired, or 7 in a row rather, retired by Dolander. Here's Albies, 6-7. Ground ball second base X. That is going to be Amador, he's a 4. 4 and 11 shouldn't be a problem. It is not. That's a G3. Second base error. He is an E14. So he has to avoid 3, 15, 16, and 18. 3, 15, 16, and 18. And he does that quite well. So that will do it. And that'll do it for Dolander. He's going to go 5 innings. Give up 5 runs, all earned. He is going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. He is going to walk 2 and strike out 3. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Chris Sale back out. We'll face Trejo, Amador, and then Doyle. 5-8. Trejo is a righty. That is a ground ball, second base X. Albies is a 4. 4 and a 13, no problem. And he's an E2, so the only errors on the E2 are 3 and 18. And no problem there. Albies makes the play. 1 down, and that'll send up Amador, second baseman, to 1-4, and he's going to line it right to Riley at third base. 2 down for Brenton Doyle. Doyle 3-9 for Doyle against a lefty. He strikes out. That is strikeout number 9 for Chris Sale. And we go to the top of the 6th, still 5-3. And the Rockies will need a new pitcher. And the only guy not available today that I guess technically he could be, but I'm going to choose not to make him available, is Jimmy Herget, because he went 2 innings yesterday. So everybody else pretty much is available. So they will go to Jake Bird. The bird is the word. Jake Bird. He is a fatigue of 2, so he can go 2 innings if need be. -4 holds, so much better hold if that comes into play. And he'll be facing Eli White, Drake Baldwin, and Nick Allen. Jake Bird. 5-9 for Bird, and that's a strikeout. And that'll bring up Drake Baldwin. He's homered and struck out. 1-3. It's a fly to right field. 2 down. Nick Allen. 2-6 for Allen. Struck him out. So Jake Bird, 1, 2, 3. Here in the 6th inning. He'll come back and pitch the 7th. Sale, this is his fatigue inning, number 6. Keep an eye on him. It'll be Beck, McMahon, and Goodman due up. That's a 2-5, and that is a single for Jordan Beck. And Beck's going to look to get the good lead. If he can get it, needs a 2 through 6 or an 11. And he gets the 5, he gets the good lead. 17 being held to 15, but the +5 is a 20. The only way he's out is on a 19. They'll go and throw through. What the heck? And he's safe, obviously. So stolen base for Beck. He's in scoring position. Takes away. Another reason you steal is to avoid the ground ball double play. Plus, it's like taking candy from a baby, so you may as well. It's pretty much automatic. Here's McMahon, 3-4, and that's a home run chance. 1-17. We will have a. I'm sorry, that should be against lefties, not against righties. 3-4 against lefties is only a 1-2. I was reading over here by mistake, but Sale is a lefty, so 1-2. 1-2. We got a tie game, and we do not. It is a fly to left field. 1 away, and that brings up Hunter Goodman. 6-10, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Allen. This could be a double play. No, it couldn't because we stole the base, so there's no double play chance. That's why you steal the base. He's a 1. 1-11, so I think that means the runner is not going to be able to make it to third base. It's a G1, so he's going to have to hold. And the E7, at short. E7, 3, 16, and 18. Got to avoid those numbers, which he does. 6-3 ground out. Beck holds at second. 2 down for Tolia in a clutch situation for Michael Tolia. And he does have some pop here in column 2 if he can find it. Finds column 3. 3-10's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 10 for Chris Sale. We go to the 7th. It is still 5-3. Sale will come back and pitch the 7th, obviously. Only gave up 1 hit on his point of weakness. So we go to the top of the 7th, and it's going to be Mr. Rosario. And that is a 3-8, and he flies to right. So we got Rosario to go 0 for 3, which is what he did in real world. So that was nice. That worked out. Without ruining the experience, it worked out. Here's Harris. 1-8 for Harris, and he singles. And we're going to take Rosario out of the game after this, so it's not going to matter anyway. Harris is going to look to maybe run. Well, I don't know. It's a -4, so he may not want to run against a -4. You know what? 1 out. I think he's going to try to get the lead anyway. See if he can get the scoring position. He needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. It's a 2. He's going to go. 18 being held is 16. -4 is a 12. So 1 to 12, and he will steal it. And he's thrown out trying to steal. Caught stealing 2 to 4. 2 down, and here's Austin Riley. 6-7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. Amador is a 4. 4 and 16, he gets to that. E14, the only error is second base, E14. 3, 15, 16, and 18. And 12, he just does get by with it, and that's going to end the inning. So Jake Bird goes his 2 innings. And we make it to the 7th inning stretch. Bird, 1 hit, no runs, struck out 2. And now Sale back out. And Sale will be facing Bouchard, Stallings, and Trejo, although there might be a pinch hitter for Trejo. We're in the 7th inning now, so pinch hitting is allowed, and it looks like Farmer has picked up a bat to hit for Trejo, Kyle Farmer. Kyle Farmer's going to hit for Trejo and stay in the game to play shortstop. So we've had enough of Trejo. And for defensive purposes, Atlanta's going to their bench, and they're going to bring on Alex Verdugo. He will play left field and hit in this spot formerly held by Rosario. And White will move from left field to right field. But that gets the nameless players out of the game, which doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. So Sale facing Bouchard to start things off. We get a 2-4, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout 11 for Chris Sale. Jacob Stallings. Whoa, that white die got kicked out. Let's try it again. We get a leaner, so we're going to re-roll that too. It was leaning between 4 and 5, so we're going to have him flat here. 4-5. 4-5. And home run on a 1 to 4. Anything else, and it's not even going to be a home run. It would be a single because he has weak power. So 1 to 4 is a single. 5 to 20, he's out. And he's going to fly out to left field for out number 2. And now Kyle Farmer will pinch hit and stay in the game to play shortstop. Kyle Farmer. We get a 6-9, and that is a ground ball to short. Again, Allen's a 1. He'll get to it automatically. E7 at short. Just has to avoid 3, 16, and 18, which he does, and that's going to end the inning, and that's going to finish it for Sale. He's going to go 7 innings, and they will turn to the bullpen. So Chris Sale, 7 innings pitched. He's going to give up 3 runs, all earned, all in that 4th inning of mess. Everything else he was dominant, obviously by striking out 11, and I don't believe he walked anybody. He did not. That's an impressive walk to strikeout ratio there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits he allowed. And the Braves will go to their bullpen in the bottom of the 8th. And they will look to right-hander Daysbel Hernandez. Right-hander. He is yet to pitch in the series. And he is 4-3, or was 4-3 with a 3.41 ERA. He's going to be their setup guy for Raisel Iglesias, who's the closer for the 9th, assuming it stays a save situation. Last night, the Braves scored 2 runs, took it out of a save situation. So they didn't use Iglesias, but he's certainly fresh. They're going to use him now regardless of what the score is because they need to pitch him. He needs some work. Let's see here. 0 hold, and he's +2, so he's a +2. All right, so now the Rockies need a new pitcher for the top of the 8th. Due up for the Braves, it'll be Ozuna, Olsen, and Albies. So we got right, left, and switch. So you can kind of go whichever way you want. They will go with Zach Agnos out of the bullpen. Zach Agnos. He's a 1-inning guy, so they will try to get 1 inning out of him. Have him pitch the 8th and keep it where it is. That's their goal. And leading off is Ozuna. Four, 2, and that is a ballpark blast. 1-9, and that's gone. Marcell Ozuna greets Zach Agnos with a home run, and that's going to make it 6-3. And thank you for answering that, Thomas. And also, Dr. D, to keep it realistic, in 2025, very few pitchers went past 7 innings. It was such a rarity. I mean, if he was pitching a shutout, maybe. But when you throw 11 strikeouts, you're throwing a lot of pitches. So he definitely needed to come out. All right, here's Olsen. That is a 3-10 for Olsen. That's a ballpark blast. This could be back-to-back off of Agnos. 1-9. And it is back-to-back off of Agnos. Boy, he didn't come out of the bullpen ready, apparently. Giving up back-to-back jacks. It's now 7-3. And here's Albies. 1-11 for Albies, and that's a ground ball to second, 1 away. Yeah, well, since I'm playing a modern game, I'm playing it by the modern game rules, including ghost runners, which we had a couple days ago. Here's Eli White, 6'4", and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Farmer. Farmer is actually a 4E17 at shortstop. 4E17. 4 and a 3. That's going to be a base hit. E17 and an 11 at shortstop. E17, there's no 11 there, but it will be a base hit for Eli White. And with a 7-3 lead in the 8th inning, do they want to try to steal? Why not? They're playing with house money. Why not try a steal? So to get the good lead, he needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And here's Drake Baldwin. That is a 4-4 lefty. Ground ball third base X. This could be a double play. McMahon's a 1. 1-17 is definitely a G1. He has to avoid the error, primarily number 13. He's got to avoid that 13. The other ones, 3, 17, and 18, are probably not likely. But 13 he definitely has to avoid, and he does. So it's going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And somebody mentioned Longhorn Steakhouse as a possible sponsor for that. I was thinking Dodge here for Ram Tough, around the horn, the horn of a ram. So we're still trying to figure out who the sponsor might be. We'll figure it out at some point, I guess. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and Daysbel Hernandez, 4-3, 3.41 ERA. He will come on and pitch, and he inherits a 7-3 lead. And he'll be facing Amador, Doyle, and Beck. That is a 2-6 for Amador. Fly to center field. One away for Brenton Doyle. (6-3) is a ballpark single. That's a 1-19, so that's pretty much guaranteed. Base hit for Brenton Doyle. And let's see with that +2. He's going to go ahead and try to steal because, again, it'll be taking candy from a baby. 4, he gets the lead. He's going to go. 19 being held to 17, +2 is a 19. And he's in there. Stolen base. Second stolen base of the game for Doyle. And now that brings up Jordan Beck. 2, it's a balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk on him, and Hernandez is a 0 balk, so we drive on. 1-3 as a hit by pitch, so Beck gets plumped. Sure he wasn't liking that too much. Here's Ryan McMahon. If he goes deep, all of a sudden it's a 1-run game. So Braves got to be careful here, not let this get away from them. 1-7, that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded now for the best hitter on the team, Hunter Goodman. This is their chance. This is their chance right here. Hunter Goodman, infield back for the double play. 6-11, that's another walk. And that's going to be it for him. Hernandez is out of here. They will go to a left-hander, I think, out of the bullpen. Don't know if they want to let Iglesias. You know what? They're bringing Iglesias on now. They're not going to screw around. They figured they already screwed around enough and allowed 1 run to come in. It's now a 7-4 game. The tying runs are on base. And Raisel Iglesias coming on to try to get the 4-out save. Actually, it would be a 5-out save because there's only 1 out right now. So he's going to try to get a 5-out save. He was 4-6, a 3.21 ERA and 29 saves. He does have a 5 up here. I don't know if that, I'm not even sure what that means. I don't even follow that. I just kind of go by feel. So Iglesias is on. He is a 0, which makes him a +2 as well. For Hernandez, he's going to go a third of an inning. And he's going to give up 2 walks, a hit batter, and a single. So he was definitely wild. 1 run for sure, and these 3 are his responsibility. 1 out, bases loaded for Tolia. And we have a pinch hitter coming up for Bouchard. It'll be Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. He's on deck to hit for Bouchard. Tolia, 2-8 for Tolia, struck him out. Iglesias comes in and gets a big strikeout, and now it's all up to Mickey Moniak. He's going to pinch hit he's pinch hitting for Sean Bouchard. It's Mickey Moniak, the Maniac, and he will stay in the game to play right field as well. So Mickey Moniak pinch hitting here in the 8th. Playing right field in the 9th. Bases are loaded, 2 outs, clutch situation in the clutch. He will gain a hit on 2-3. So we got Iglesias against Moniak. We get a 5-4, and that's a catcher X. We're going to Baldwin. He's a 3. 3-3. That's going to be another wild pitch. Going to be another wild pitch. There's no error there, I don't believe. Nope, not on the E2, but it will be another wild pitch. This one on Iglesias, and that will score the run. Move the other runners to second and third. 2 runs are in. It's 7-5. Moniak at the plate. Still a clutch situation. Tying runs are on base. Go ahead run at the plate. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance, but his rating's a 0. Here's the pitch to Moniak. Whoops, that thing flipped all the way through there. So let's try it again. Pitch to Moniak. That is a 3-7 from Moniak, and he hits a double 1-4, single 5-20. Either way, we're going to have a tie ball game. 17, that's a single 2 stars, and the game is tied. Blown save for Raisel Iglesias. The Rockies have come back to tie the game. 4 runs charged to Hernandez. And Mickey Moniak comes through in the clutch to tie this game at 7 apiece here in the 8th inning. And that'll send up. Let's see, can Moniak try to steal? He's going to try to steal. He needs a 2 through 5 to get the good lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And that brings up Jacob Stallings. Stallings, a 5-5, is a strikeout, and that will end the inning. But not before Mickey Moniak, the Maniac, hits a critical 2-run single, aided by the wild pitch as well. 2-run single to take care of things and tie this game at 7 apiece. Agnos is out of there. He gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, back-to-back home runs. Nothing else anywhere else. So we're tied at 7 apiece as we go to the 9th inning. 9th inning we go. And let's see who the Rockies will turn to. They will turn to Juan Mejia. Or actually, no, wait a minute. Halverson. We rested Halverson last game. He is their closer, so we'll go with Halverson. He had to rest last game, so he can pitch again. Halverson, 1-2, 4.99 ERA and 11 saves. It's no longer a save situation when you're the home team in the top of the 9th of a tie game, so you may as well use him now. So Halverson, he's a 1-inning guy only. And he'll be facing Allen, Verdugo, and Harris. Allen, Verdugo, and Harris. Allen, a 221 hitter. They could bring in Arcia to pinch hit, or somebody else to pinch hit and have Arcia play shortstop. Murphy's their big bat on the bench, but I think you want to save him for a key situation. Don't want to burn your other catcher, so they're going to let Nick Allen swing away. It's very cool, Paul. I appreciate it. Hopefully, since I switched to this kind of dice tray, it's a lot quieter than what would be heard with that wooden dice tray I was using. So at least it sounds a little more muffled. Here's Allen, 1-6, and he grounds it to second. But a far cry from the real game that ended 2-1. We're tied at 7 here in the 9th. Here's Verdugo. That's a 6'10 lefty, and that 6'9 would have been a home run, but not actually wouldn't have been because he's got weak power. It would have been a single. Instead, it's a fly ball center field X, and that is going to be Doyle. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. E3, the only outfielder error on it, center fielder error on the 3 is 3, 16, and 18. And he barely gets to that. Almost made an error on that. 2 down for Michael Harris. .210 for Harris, and that is a ballpark single check. So 1-19, and of course that's going to be a base hit, and he's going to look to run. Harris needs a 2 through 5, 11, or a 12 to get the good lead, and he gets an 11, so he gets a good lead. He's going to go 18, being held as a 16, -3 is a 13, 1-13, and he's in there, stolen base. So Harris in scoring position with 2 outs for Austin Riley. Austin Riley, clutch situation for Riley. And in the clutch, he gains 1 hit on 312. Alverson trying to get around that single and stolen base. That's a 1-7. He does with a strikeout. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. That's it for Alverson. He's a 1-inning guy. He goes 1 inning, gives up a hit, nothing else, gets a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 7. And they will go ahead and bring Iglesias back. He faced 3 batters, struck out 2 of them, but he gave up the big single to Moniak. That was the killer. That's what tied the game. Due up for the Rockies, it'll be Farmer, Amador, and Doyle here in the bottom of the ninth. Here from Coors Field. And of course, this game has a chance to go extra innings. And if it does, you will see the ghost runner. And it's also going to delay Colorado from hitting their charter to San Francisco, which they've already got ready. The buses are ready to go to get them out there to the airport. But you got to hold the phone here. Here's Farmer. That's a 4-9 against Iglesias. Struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Iglesias. And here's Amador. So we're definitely looking at possible extra innings. 5-3, switch hitter. Ground ball first base X. That's Olsen. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. E5, first base, 14, 17, and 18. Got to avoid those numbers, which he does easily, and he will flip it to Iglesias covering, 2 down. Brenton Doyle, last man standing between us and extra innings. 5-9, and that's a home run chance against Iglesias on a 1-17. This could be a walk-off. Look at it up close and personal. A 5-9 against the right-hander is an in-home run, 1-17. Brenton Doyle, of course, has normal power. So 1-17, and Brenton Doyle has walked this off, and the Rockies have come back in dramatic fashion. A 18-20, and it's just going to be a double, and the game will continue. 1-17, the game is over. And it's over. Brenton Doyle, a walk-off home run for Brenton Doyle, and the Rockies have come back to win it again. They win it 8-7 over the Atlanta Braves. They improved to 12-18 through 30 games. Iglesias will take the loss. Halverson gets the win. Iglesias is going to go 2/3 and 2/3, so that's an inning and a third. And let's see, he gives up 2 hits and a run. And he struck out 3. So the final line score, 8 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Rockies. 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for the Braves. So the Rockies take 2 of 3 from Atlanta. Atlanta won 2 out of 3 real world, but the Rockies take 2 of 3. And the player of the game, without question, Brenton Doyle, 3 for 5, 2 singles, 2 stolen bases, a home run, and 3 runs scored. Can't ask much more than that from your leadoff hitter. Brenton Doyle. There he is, center fielder Brenton Doyle. He had a .233 average, but hit 15 home runs and 57 runs batted in. But he had the game of the year for him so far right there. Rockies improved to 12-18, so we're only 8 games away from that magical 20-win mark that we're looking for through 59 games. So with 29 games to go, we have to win 8 of 29. So as long as we go 8-21, no worse than 8-21, I'll make the 20-win goal, which the regular win total was 9. So I'm not just trying to double, I'm trying to exceed it and get to a better number of 20, nice round number of 20. That's my goal. So the Rockies with the win, dramatic fashion, 8-7, walk-off home run from Doyle. They will now catch their charter. We will not need a ghost runner. And so they will catch their charter, and they will head on to San Francisco Oracle Park, and they will face Justin Verlander for the Giants. Will pitch game 1 against German Marquez, and that'll be tomorrow night around 9:15 from the West Coast in San Francisco. So the Atlanta Braves came, and they tried their best, but take their numbers here with Action PC and the 3 games here, they're now 14-16. Colorado 12 and 18. And actually, Colorado is not in last place on the Action PC replay. San Francisco is, with all the games that they played in the Action PC replay. So Colorado actually will come into that game with a better record than San Francisco. So hope you enjoyed that presentation of the Rockies Horror Baseball Show. Tomorrow at around 9 o'clock, I've already got the score sheet filled out so that there will be no 15-minute delay or 16-minute delay like I did before filling out the score sheet. It is the White Sox and the Indians. Scott Nielsen against Phil Niekro from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. That will be tomorrow around 9 o'clock in the a.m., somewhere between 9 and 9:15. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your night, whatever you have planned. Until then, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And let me get this straight here so that we're ready to go. Make sure I got this where I want it. I don't know if I can get it where I want it, though. That's the problem. Probably not. But I'm going to try anyway. Should have had this ready to go, but hey, we run a very lax ship around here. So, again, final score 8-7 Rockies. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.